All right. Welcome, everyone, to episode 26 of the Behind the Stripes podcast. I'm Rama, Peroo, joined as always by Cowley College Hall of Famer and two-time JUCO World Series champion, Coach Dave Burroughs.
Thanks, Rama. Good to be here.
Good to see you, Coach. And we've got a familiar face we've had on the show once before. And also, I could say almost the exact same thing, a Cowley College Hall of Famer, two-time JUCO World Series champ, the current head coach of the Cowley College Tiger baseball team, Darren Burroughs.
Thanks, Rama. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's great to have the Burroughs brothers here together. So we're going to talk a lot of baseball, if you guys didn't know that. So settle in. It'll be a good show. And this is one of my favorite things is to be able to talk baseball with you guys. So I'd love to just be a fly on the wall. I'll probably just ask the questions and let you two go at it. So, all right. First off, Coach, we're going to start with you, though, and a little bit about the season's, 2 months removed now. You've still got a busy off season, but kind of what's been going on since the season ended? I know it doesn't stop for you. It's always constant going and moving and shuffling, but players leaving, adding players, how have things been going?
Well, you always try to replace what you lost, and sometimes you lose things that you don't plan on losing, and they're still trying to replace them. But it's a forever more recruiting cycle anymore. It's not seasonal. It's year round. So you just always try to do and try to fill the holes that you feel like you had, and try to fill the voids.
You guys have always been this way. It reminds me of what John Calipari has been through his coaching career. He'll get kids and he gets them better and they move on. And he's not about trying to tell them any kind of nonsense that you need to come back and get better. He's like, hey, you're ready. Go on. And it's a double-edged sword. It's great to see those kids move on from Cali and do well, but sometimes we have some of those freshmen that do really well, and we see some of them go on, and it's exciting for us to see them move from the program on, but it's something where you've got to make up for those losses.
Well, that's our job, is to get them to the next level,
right.
and try to develop them as soon as possible. But sometimes they make a little faster jump than you anticipate, and when it happens later in the summer, then there's not a whole lot of opportunity to replace high quality guys.
True. And recently we had a couple guys that signed with the University of Kansas. They were coming off one of their best seasons in program history. Care to mention those two guys? And we got 4 of them out there now.
Well,
at KU, I think, don't we?
we got 4 at KU now, and of course Cade Baldridge had a really good year, and then Holden Grobor was a catcher here, and Grady Hoke was probably our best starting pitcher, and Riley Lau was probably our best reliever.
Yeah.
So KU felt the need that they needed to fill some holes, and thought those guys were quality enough to do that at this time, and kudos to those guys for working hard to get where they need to be.
Most definitely. And Coach, you mentioned off air, those guys are going to get an opportunity to play in a pretty special game. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I was reading that, and they're going to play at the Field of Dreams up in Iowa. They're going to play the University of Iowa in October. So that's a pretty neat place to go play a fall baseball game, I would reckon, because sometimes you have to look for motivation to play those things, because they could get long and they're not fun. But going to that place, I would be looking forward to getting on the bus and driving to.
Might be a little chilly in Iowa in October.
Dreams, yeah.
It could be. Have either of you been there?
I have not.
That'd be cool.
I'd like to go.
That's like a bucket list item for me too. It's one that I'm surprised I haven't taken the time to try to make a trip like that, but that would be a lot of fun to go see a game.
I don't really care about seeing a game. I'm way too old to play a game of catch, but I'd like to play a game of catch with my grandson, because he don't throw it hard enough for me to hit me in the face.
I tell you, watching that movie and you see that scene where he gets to throw a ball with his dad again.
Oh yeah, it's pretty cool.
That'll get anybody, won't it?
Oh, absolutely.
Now, Coach, who are some of your top returners for next season that you're going to be kind of looking at or leaning on to provide some sophomore leadership?
Well, we're hoping guys are going to make that next extra step. Peyton Goss is on the mound. Keaton Humphrey has really had some really good starts last year, and expect him to make jumps. Josiah Sims at shortstop.
Yeah.
Skylar Bram in the outfield. Eastern Green had a really good year for us. So we're just looking for those guys to kind of lead the way and take that extra step and development.
Terrific. Did you kind of see that from them as the season went on, being freshmen? Did you see them kind of making some strides?
Well, I think they're all typical freshmen. They showed really signs of being really good, and also showed signs of being really inconsistent.
And that's a freshman a lot of times.
And that's a freshman, and that's what our level is all about, is learning to speed the game and learn how to develop and bring it every day. It's a grind. So many kids now don't know how to practice every day and then try to play, and so it's about learning to be a college baseball player.
I don't think guys I think it's used to be freshmen. I think it still is to a point, but I think the thing about it is those guys have to learn how to be more consistent. And I think I watched our sophomores be up and down this year too. So if they can take that step and learn how to be more professional you know, how to get their work in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, quality work, not quantity. I mean, get your work in right and go home and get ready for the next day. So that's the big thing. Those guys are all good players coming back. They just got to learn how to be more consistent.
For sure. You know, and this isn't a question I had on here, but one that I would like to get your guys' opinion on. Growing up, you know, my first 20, 30 years of life, you didn't really hear a lot of guys with the arm injuries that you see so much now, of pitchers. Guys would throw 120 pitches and throw complete games. You know, the 70s, that's pretty much what it was. If you were out there and you were a starting pitcher, you know, you were expected to try to give him a complete game effort. Mm-hmm. Now I've got guys like Paul Skeens, who's never thrown a complete game in his 3 seasons in the major leagues. It's such a different thing. And I saw 2 players in the last 2 weeks have perfect games, 1 through 6, which is Jared Jones of the Pirates, 1 through 7, pitcher for the Marlins, Yuri Perez, and they both got pulled, you know, and both weren't near 100 pitches. Perez was at 92, Jones was at 77. I don't know. It bothers me to see guys getting pulled in complete game efforts like that. When what's changed? How has it gotten to this point now to where it's such about, you know, you just hope your starter gives you 5 innings, 6 innings, and you got your bullpen to go the rest of the way. What's led to that, really?
Well, I think analytics has been a big part of that. And I think the way guys train is to try to train for velocity. They're not training to pitch; they're training to throw harder.
Yeah.
So they're not as concerned about, and they don't want guys to face liners 3 times.
Yeah, that's true too.
You know, that's where analytics comes in, and so somebody is telling them that's not how to do it. But we also saw Dylan Cease. He went for a no-hitter, and he went to the 9th. He threw 120 pitches. So
yeah, that's right.
You know, but he's a little bit older guy, and guys try to protect their investment a little bit more. So I think education has changed everybody's mindset, and you have different type people running the front office.
This might sound petty, but being a Pirates fan and listening to other Pirates fans like myself, we think, you know, why are we pulling a guy after 85 pitches to try to save him for the Yankees, maybe, you know, in 2 years, or the Dodgers? I mean, use him right now, I feel like, all we can when we have a Paul Skeens, because I mean, I'm not naive. The Pirates aren't going to re-sign him when he's a free agent. He's going to leave and go somewhere else. So I just wish now they'd kind of do like they do in the NFL and give the ball carrier 400 carries. You run him till the wheels fall off, I feel like. But that's just not the game today.
Well, it's not. And you know, it's not the players. They don't want to.
Yeah.
You know, it used to be back when you're talking about those guys, you had to pull the ball out of their hand. Now they're handing it over pretty easy.
Yeah, there's not very many of the Trevor Bauers throwing the ball over the outfield fence when they're coming to get you out, which was not a good thing to do, by the way, but also just showed that he's a competitor and he didn't want to leave that game.
I think it's changed in amateur baseball, too. Lefty was in high school. How many times you start on Thursday and close on Saturday? Or in a regional tournament, you started on Thursday, had a day off, and went and pitched again.
Wow.
You know, and so even an amateur side of it, the college side of it, I mean, we've had guys who've been in a sub-regional tournament back in the old days of that. You know, Jeremy Stewart came in and threw 4 1/3 or something like that after taking one day off. And that's kind of what made the playoffs good last year in the World Series. Yamamoto comes back on no days rest, and because if they don't, they're not going to win that game.
Yeah, right.
They're not, and they knew that, and he wanted the ball, and they did. But he's training a little different than what they have over here, though.
Was it Blake Snell in the playoffs a few years ago with Tampa
yeah.
Bay when they famously pulled him and the Dodgers were just licking their chops?
Gave him the World Series. Like, here, it's yours, take it. So, yeah, it's crazy. But
yeah, I guess I just got to get. That's the way baseball is now. So, but it just drives me crazy when the guys are rolling and they're pulling them after 85 pitches. I just like to see them stay out there and be able to try to go a little longer. But that's just me. So,
well, I think if you're past 45, we all think that.
Don't you think, Lefty, there's probably more interference from the agents now than ever before, too, about wanting to protect their guys?
And like I said, I think the general manager are different type of people. They're not baseball guys.
Yeah.
So they're trying to protect their investment, but the agents are running a show.
That's right. That's where a lot of times, you know, I got to catch myself and realize this probably isn't the manager's call. This is coming from up above. So, he just
delivers the bad news.
Yeah.
You know, it's not his decision. It's come from upstairs, and the guys upstairs aren't going to take the heat. but the manager is.
But had it been Max Scherzer or Jacob deGrom, they would have kept one out there.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
There'd have been a fight in the dugout.
Yeah.
You're right, and I want those kind of competitors. I want them not to want to have to leave that game.
Yeah.
I saw Garrett Cole the other night, and it backfired. But he actually, talked his manager into staying out there, and then he ended up giving up a home run. But I liked that he was saying, "Hey, I'm good."
Well, one thing about it though, because I watched some of that game as well. He knows that he's got a better chance of winning that game for himself than the guy following him out of the bullpen.
Exactly.
So he might as well give up that 2-run Johnson instead of the guy that's going to follow him. I'd rather lose the game myself and have the reliever blow the game. That's just me.
Yeah. And you're a former pitcher. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, I just you talk about. I even talk about with our pitchers and our players, like they talk about pitch count. I said, asked what I had. I go, it was like they handed the ball in the first. When you quit getting them out, that's when that was your pitch count.
Yeah, right.
I mean,
there was no set limit when you were going out there that day that they say, hey, he hits 85 or he hits 100, we're getting him out.
Back in the old days, looking at the dugout, and the manager wouldn't, he'd turn his head on you, wouldn't he?
Sure.
I ain't looking at you. Sure. What are you looking in here for?
Nothing to see here.
I can't help you.
Sure. And I think we all back then went longer than we probably should have. Because it was all about being competitive, and that's who you were.
Didn't want to show that sign of weakness.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. You don't want to be scared to go back out there.
Sure. Well, Coach, your fall schedule is going to be coming up around the corner here before we know it. But kind of what do you hope to accomplish this fall with your squad?
Well, you try to find out who fits where and what we got to work on and what fundamentals we don't know, and we just have to try to compete and get better as the fall goes and see who fits where. We try to press them. We're going to play Wichita State again. We're going to play Pitt State. We're going to play UCO. We're going to go to 2 or 3 classics and play Crowder in Southeast Nebraska and Seminole, and we got Seminole home and home, and we try to put them in uncomfortable situations, see how they're going to react to it.
That's great.
Let them see who they're going to be.
Sure, I love that. I know you guys have always done that. It's always been, schedule tough in the regular season too, and get them ready. So you'll learn a lot about your squad.
Well, that's what you're trying to do. Let them sink and swim sometimes, because they have to fail before they understand they have to change.
That's right. We had the region tournament up at WSU this year. Do you know where it's going to be at next year, Coach?
They haven't decided. I tried to call Mike Sadler this morning. In fact, I tried to figure out, we're talking about changing the format a little bit.
Oh, really? Okay.
Because in 28, it's all going to change. Because there's going to be the World Series is going to change. We're going to have 8 teams, so then they're going to have super regionals and things like that. So the whole format's going to change. So we're talking about trying to maybe change a little bit this year. We had a big meeting a month or so ago in El Dorado, and we never really came up with anything, so I think we tabled it and trying to figure stuff out.
Okay, but there will be some changes coming up in the near future, though. Okay, yes. Well, good.
Good riddance to the disconnected bracket in Grand Junction, though. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
it's long overdue.
Good. So this will be a good change.
I think so. I mean, you talk about the most advantage in that tournament. If you play, it used to be the Sunday night game at 7:30, so 2 teams could go home before you ever played.
Oh man!
And then what makes it even worse than that? You're going to have a day off the next day, whether you win or lose. So you can lose a game, you don't play again until Tuesday. You're guaranteed 5th right there. You don't even have to win a game. You got to finish 5th or 6th. Right. And there's nothing about that that's right. So
true.
I mean, we were out there one year in our 3rd game, and somebody else was in their 2nd game. I would like our chances better with our number 2 guy going over our number 3 guy, and we won the game, but it was a dogfight though too. So, but I just think it's time to maybe get more modern and maybe have 2 pools or whatever and make it a big deal. And I don't know if they're going to play the best out of 3 like they do in Omaha or what they're going to do with that, but at least there won't be 10 teams. And I think it's better. That's just me from my standpoint, from being a spectator and being involved in the dugout as well. Like, this makes too much sense not to do it.
Good. Well, I'm glad there's going to be that change coming.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's a good thing.
And just speaking of the region, then, Coach, I mean, it's been this way forever. I mean, it's been such a tough region because only one team comes out of that, gets to go on to Grand Junction, Colorado. Your squads have always been there and given themselves that chance, which is amazing. I mean, it's been a 35-year run of constantly being there in that mix and having a chance. And you guys will have that chance again this year. What's going to kind of need to be the key for your team to be able to try to capture that region because there's a lot of good teams in there.
Well, there's a lot of good teams, but you have to develop your whole team as your season goes. You have to have people step up, and your best players have to play really good.
For sure.
And you have to have a little bit of luck, and you just have to play good.
Well, I'm sure you'll be excited to get the fall season underway.
Well, it's exciting to get back started. I mean, anytime in the spring has been a long grind, and you're ready for a little bit of a break, but it doesn't take long to get ready for your juices to start flowing and be ready to see what you got coming in.
Good. Well, the MLB draft just happened just about a week ago, and we had two former players of ours, two former Tigers. Alex Conover, who went on to Oklahoma State University, drafted in the 4th round by the Padres. I thought that was outstanding. And Cody Arrington, another former Tiger, drafted in the 20th round by the Rangers. And we've had a lot of guys go to the Rangers through the years. How's that connection been with the Rangers organization? How did that kind of come to?
Love to answer that question.
Oh, I think, the Rangers used to scout here a lot.
Okay.
And we had a good friend that was a scout with the Rangers, but he always said, I come here because that's where the players are.
Yeah.
And so he came and he learned who they were and what they were all about, and he just liked taking our players, and they usually had a pretty good time going through the organization.
Terrific. And as we mentioned, Alex Conover, I mean, we knew whenever he was here at Cowley the kind of player he was, a special ball player. But to be taken in the top 5 round of the draft, I mean, that's really impressive.
Well, I think he checks a lot of boxes. I think, analytically he checks a lot of boxes, but he doesn't strike out a lot. He walks a lot. I think the way he plays is appealing to a lot of organizations, and
it's the ball over the fence.
That helps.
It helps a lot in today's game for sure.
Right, exactly. And the game's changed so much. I'm glad you mentioned that, Coach, because I mean it is now. I love when you first started off saying it doesn't strike out a lot and makes and gets on base with walks and things like that, and that's great. I love that kind of player. Every team needs a guy like that. But now it's just so few and far between. Now you look at some of these lineups, and like you said, Coach, I mean, hit the ball out of the ballpark. That's kind of what the MO is now. It's
hard to find both, and he's kind of got the possibility of being
a hybrid
both.
for sure.
Yeah,
he
that's
can
very
run,
rare
and he
nowadays.
got some power as well. So, and he's kind of a dirtbag too. That's why I like to watch him play. He plays the game right, and he plays it hard. He's a grinder for sure.
I had a lot of people, or not a lot. I had a few scouts call this spring and asking about him, and so he's going to be on everybody's radar. And I even asked this guy, so where are you thinking he's going? I said 8, 10. He goes, I think he'll go a little higher than that.
Boy,
And they want to know about his personality. I said, well, he's really hard nosed. He's really tough, and he's a leader. They go, really? It seems really quiet. I go, oh, no, I've seen him lead by example and have to talk to players.
And when I say dirtbag, I mean that's a compliment.
for sure. In the baseball world,
Yeah,
of
that's
course,
a compliment.
yes.
If you call me a dirtbag, I got a smile on my face.
Right. Yeah, but it sounds like he's got all the tools then that you need in a Major League
has a
Baseball
I hope
player.
so, and he's versatile. I mean, he grew up as a catcher. He's played infield, and became an outfielder, and so he's really still young as an outfielder, still learning.
Played second base a little bit at Oklahoma State this spring too. So
Terrific.
well, you got your Army Swiss knife there. You got a guy who can do 2 or 3 things, man. That's important.
For sure.
Well, Tommy Edmond is kind of the same type of guy.
Yeah.
So,
Well, guys, if we want to talk a little more baseball here, I've got a lot of Major League Baseball talk. One thing I wanted to kind of pick your guys' brains on was the Reds. They're having a disappointing season, but they just locked up one of their most talented young players, right-handed starting pitcher Chase Burns. He got a 7-year, $105 million extension, and that's the largest ever for a pitcher with fewer than 4 years of Major League service time. So just 23 years old. The Reds are banking on, kind of what the Pirates did, locked up Connor Griffin, what the Royals did with Bobby Witt Jr. Some of these, you're seeing these small market clubs kind of, it's not really a roll of the dice. They've seen what he can do. He was an all-star, but still very young. And these teams trying to give them these long-term contracts to stay there. What are your guys' thoughts on that? Is that just the sign of the times? We're going to see a lot more of these coming out?
I think you try to buy loyalty is what they're trying to do, and I don't know if that works or not, really. So,
I think it's a little bit different too. Rather than Bobby Witt and Connor Griffin, they're everyday guys. So you're spending a lot of putting a lot of time in a young pitcher's arm. So you got to figure
you got to see
7 innings. You're going to have a surgery at some point in time in 7 years.
Write it down.
So they're trying to get him locked up before. And I think that's what small market clubs are having to do a little bit, and trying to build a franchise from within. To try to build stamina and length. You have to try to probably overpay early.
You're right. Exactly.
And it hasn't helped with the Royals either. So
No, and that's where I was going to get next, Coach, and that's a good way to segue. The Royals, 41-60, and it's unfortunately in an AL Central that really no one's wanting to run away with. The White Sox are leading by 1 game over Cleveland, and I hate to, pin anything down on the manager here, but we've talked, a little bit about maybe a new voice is needed there, just because this was a team that came in with high expectations. They had 2 years ago won the division. Last year, we're 500 club. This year, 19 games under, and it's really the same guys out there playing. So,
in my mind, I mean, a new voice never hurts sometimes, but I would have to ask the question, like, why did we start off so slow? Why are we so slow out of the gate? Because if we're not that slow out of the gate last year, and with our finish, we're a playoff team.
Oh yeah,
we're a playoff team. So, and you know what? And a pretty good indication, in my opinion, man. You start losing big, like 19-2.
Yeah, like the other night against the Padres.
Yeah,
yes.
you just wonder if the clubhouse has been lost. I mean, that's. But if you're not there, you're not going to know. But there are indications for an outsider looking and go, yeah, this guy's lost his team, and when that happens, you're in trouble.
They've done after they changed voices.
Yeah,
You're right. 14-game win
14
streak.
in a row.
The Red Sox longest win streak since 1948. One away of their franchise record.
Yeah, and they got the same players.
with a good manager, really.
Yeah.
I mean, that guy.
He's a proven manager.
Yeah.
How about
A
when
World Series winner.
You're exactly right, Coach. And how about when Philly fired their manager and they Mattingly all of a sudden has got them within 3 games of the division lead now. So sometimes
And that guy had him in the playoff deep
last year.
last year and the year before.
What have you done for me lately?
Got
Right?
beat by the
That's what
Dodgers
it's all
last
about.
year.
Yeah, I know. And
But you talk about agents and players. Somebody's whispering in somebody's ear, like maybe we need a new voice.
Yeah.
right. And some of those teams have guys that the ownership will really listen to too. Some of those big franchise, big contract guys. Not saying that Bryce Harper or some of those guys didn't have a say in some of that, but
Well, you can't fire players. Not when they're making that much money.
no,
All it takes is one unhappy superstar, and you're gone. Yeah. That's just the way it is.
for
It's been
sure.
that way forever.
Yeah, it's disappointing with the Royals. Mikel Garcia has been a very big disappointment for me this season, darn it. I was really high off of what he did last year, had a great World Baseball Classic, and just something's just not been right. I don't know if he's playing hurt. And
That's the kind of stuff that may be true, because you just don't know what's going on in the training room either. But it's like this guy's going to be an MVP batting champion the way he swung the bat in the WBC, and he hasn't translated it at all. So.
Well, we mentioned the Red Sox with their incredible run of 14 straight wins. That's a heck of a division right now. Tampa's leading New York by 1 game, and then you got the Red Sox, 14 wins in a row. There's a lot of tight races, guys. Texas and Seattle, they're in a really tight race, just a half game separated there. Seattle's 51-50, and just a half game lead. If you had to choose right now in that, and let's start with the AL Central. White Sox and Cleveland, unless you see, I don't really consider Minnesota. I think they're going to start falling back. I think this is an unbelievable trivia question. I wish I would have told this to you guys already, but my dad called me this week and he said, who leads the American League in runs scored? I guess the White Sox, and then I finally got it right on the next guess. It was the Twins.
Wow.
The Twins lead all American League in runs scored. Who would have guessed that?
Pitching is, huh?
That's how bad the pitching is. They're 3 games under 500. So, but if you had to pick someone there to win the AL Central, what do you guys got? Who's your pick right now?
Go ahead, Lefty.
I'm going to go with Cleveland just because they've got the experience of winning and their manager's been in that seat. And the White Sox are still trying to figure out if they can win or not.
Yeah, they've been a real surprise to keep it going this long. The White Sox have.
Yeah, Cleveland as well, because one, they got the best player in the division in my mind with Ramirez, but they also got some good young players too. That second baseman's good. He's a dude, but I can't even pronounce his name. Bazaza or something like that. That guy can rake now.
Cleveland is such a weird team because we talk about all the home runs. They're leading in home run. Their team leader has 11 right now. And I watched them play the Pirates this weekend, and they are really good at playing small ball. I mean, they do a lot of things right. They just play the game right, and that's how they've kind of gotten to where they're at. They have a lot of guys that have 8, 9, 10, 11 home runs, but not a real power club, but they can sure still score runs and move the bases, and they're pitching well.
It all counts the same, right? Whether you score on a double or a home run or a safety squeeze, it all counts the same.
Yeah, I'm with you, though. I'm with Cleveland as well. And if you guys had to look at that Yankees division, you got Tampa, like I say, 57-42, a 1-game lead over New York, and then the Red Sox closing fast. Your guys picking that division.
Let Dave go first this time.
Yeah.
I think it comes down to the Red Sox and the Yankees. When push comes to shove, if the Yankees can get their starting rotation, they get it back intact with those front three guys, you got a chance to win some games. If they get hot, especially, but they can't score either. I mean, it's all or nothing with those guys. But the Red Sox, they seem to have it figured out right now. Now, staying that hot for another 2 months, that's far fetched. It's not possible. So, but bad as I hate to say it, I'm going to say New York.
Yeah, I think the Red Sox have a lot of young pitchers, so you don't know how long they can stay with how well they're pitching.
Yeah.
You know, they got Peyton Toley, who pitched at Wichita State. He's in rotation.
Jake Bennett.
Jake Bennett is from OU, and they're both Oklahoma kids, but they're young, and they have to understand that hitters are going to make adjustments to them, and so they have to learn to make that adjustment. Where the New York staff has already been there, and they know how to do that. So that's where you got to give them the advantage. You know, you never know about Aroldis Chapman. How's he going to be?
True.
You know. So.
And in the old days, it was like you get through the dog days of August, and then you got September, and those last 30 days were a difference maker.
Sure.
And
especially on young arms.
Yeah, but now they seem to be a little more observant. They're worried about protecting those guys because the kid from Crowder, they took him out after 4 innings. Took him out after 4 innings last night. Yeah. But still, that grind mentally, you get through August, the heat, and then the playoff races. It's different now. It's different. So that's why I think the Yankees will win it. But I hope I'm wrong.
And then let's go over to.
I mean, you got to jump in there
for me,
too.
I hate to brush aside Tampa, but I just don't. Yeah, I think they're going to finish with another 87 to 90 wins. Tampa will, but I think if the Yankees, I watched them last night against my Pirates, and they're without four really good players. Yeah, and if they get those guys back, look out because they're hanging in this
on
race.
a 60-day DL, so he's not going to be back for a while.
That's true, right?
Or IL. I'm sorry.
The IL, right? Yeah. I think the Yankees are going to have enough to try to outlast Tampa in that. The Red Sox, I'm with you, though. I think that if it does come down to it, the Red Sox and Yankees are the two teams there, but I'm going Yankees as well.
I think the trade deadline is going to tell us something, too.
For sure. And you mentioned Aroldis Chapman. 2 weeks ago, before Boston started on this tear, he was the big trade talk. Everybody was thinking, God, who's going to go get Aroldis? And now the Red Sox are probably going to hold on to him.
Well, I also heard the other day the Yankees are talking about Mason Miller.
Oh, my goodness. And then you could add Bednar to the 8th inning instead of the 9th.
There you go.
And Bednar's pitched 20 2/3 straight scoreless, 18 straight appearances without giving up a run.
That would shorten it like that.
Ooh.
And Garrett Cook will be like this. Like, here, take the ball.
Absolutely.
Then you feel fine about giving up the mound after 7.
Let those two guys have it in the 8th and 9th.
Exactly right.
Surely there's a 7th inning guy out there somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. They're just going to move everybody down, and it takes less stress off the 8th inning guy. And they got a guy that I think pitched the 9th last night because Bednar pitched the day before, and his stuff looked pretty good.
Yeah, it was a 1, 2, 3. It didn't threaten any. So,
I mean, it's. I mean, when it comes down to it in playoffs, you still got to pitch.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You still got to pitch.
That's when you really see it.
Yeah, especially from the veterans. They know how to manipulate through a lineup. Who they're going to pick to let them beat them and stuff like that.
That's whenever I go back to whenever it was, and I hate to bring up the Pirates. No one else cares, but just real quick, back when it was the one game, playoff for the teams. Yeah, the wild card. Pirates had to face. It was unfortunately the 2 times when they faced Madison Bumgarner when he was on one of those incredible runs, and it was one game and they lost. And then the next time they had to face it was the Cubs pitcher that came from Baltimore. Started with an A. I'm trying to remember his name in 20.
Oh,
wasn't Arenado, was it? No, that's no. Gosh darn.
Third baseman, yeah.
Yes, the pitcher for the Cubs.
Yeah, I knew
you know who we're talking about, and he just shoved 7 innings.
Jake Arrieta.
Yes, that's it, Coach. Thank you. When he was having his unbelievable run, they had to face him in a one and done, and so it comes down to when you're getting that postseason. If you're the faces,
bad things happen.
Yeah, I hated that. And
it takes one hot pitcher too, because that 7-game set. Now there you go again. The old days, the guy could throw game 1, game 4, game 7.
Yeah, right.
I don't know if they'll do that now, but you get Max Fried back healthy. He can deal as well. And then the young kid, he's good too. He's a Garrett Cole clone, in my opinion. So, you get that bullpen fixed, and you don't got to score a lot of runs.
You only need 3 starters.
Yeah,
true.
And that fifth starter might be your sixth inning guy.
Yeah, there you go.
What a luxury. Well, then you look at the other race here in the American League. We got Texas and Seattle and a real battle there. Like I say, just a half game separation. Neither team's wanting to run away with it. Only Seattle, 51-50, the only team with a winning record in the division. I mean, Houston's only still, I think, 3.5, 4 games back. But really, I think it's going to come down to Texas and Seattle. What are your guys' thoughts? We'll let you go first. Coach.
Boy, I don't know. I think Seattle's probably got a little bit better starting pitching. I know DeGrom has been a superstar, but he's just not pitching real well right now. And there you go again. It gets hot in Texas in August and September. So who's going to get tired? And Seattle's a little bit different weather.
But you're playing inside though in Texas now, so that makes a little bit of a difference. But my reply would be, you got a quarter. I'm going to flip that quarter and I'll tell you who's going to win. But I'm going to go Texas. There's just something about, all of our guys that have been in that organization and got friends there and still got guys there that we know. So I don't know why. I'm just going to go crazy and just take a wild guess, say the Rangers are going to win.
I want the Rangers to win. I just keep waiting for the Seattle team that had such a huge year last year and was expected so much this year to kind of get that switch flipped.
And they haven't.
I know we're 101 games in, so it's probably not going to happen. But
probably not, because that's how it goes. I mean, you have a great year, and it's just almost inevitable. You got to follow it up
for a while.
Yeah, he was. And when he was playing, I don't know if he was playing hurt or not, but boy, his stats were. I mean, he was batting about 180. So
he started off batting at WBC, and he stayed there.
This is a guy who hit 60 home runs last year.
Yeah,
it's hard to believe.
Well, it's hard to duplicate that though.
Yeah, for sure. Going over to the National League, guys. I mean, we're going to just right off the bat. I mean, the Dodgers just dominating the NL West, 63-38, 11.5 game lead. Arizona's kind of snuck into second place now in that one. It might be a wild card team. They're more the Padres, but we all know the Dodgers. We're all going to take the Dodgers in that one, so we'll slip past that. But we had mentioned about the Phillies and a managerial change they made earlier in the season, and Don Mattingly really have them playing good ball. They're 3 games back of the Braves, who are 58-41, and the Braves have led from start of the season till now, but they're kind of feeling that heat on them. What do you think of that division, Braves or Phillies?
I'm going to take Philadelphia, the silly Phillies. So, and there you go again. I don't really have a reason, but I think their lineup's a little bit more veteran type, and they know, in my opinion, they know their window's closing. And they got to make some hay right now because the opportunity might not be there. So, but there you go again. Everybody's got to stay healthy. Where you got to pick up at the trade deadline too. So, but I'm gonna say the Phillies are going to win.
Coach,
you know what? I can't even tell you who's in the Braves rotation right now. That's how little I've watched them play.
Chris Sale,
I know he's going to win.
Yeah,
who else?
Right,
so,
you're right. Spencer Strider's,
and I think Olson's been good at first base, and of course Riley's a superstar at third base. Yeah. But I don't know. I'm probably going to go with the Phillies, and that's probably just my heart more than my head.
Yeah. Boy, I mean, I've watched quite a bit of both these teams this year, and I just don't really know how the Braves are doing it. I mean, they just keep winning, but I don't know. I mean, I'm with you guys though that I feel like that Phillies lineup it's pretty stacked on the opposite side of things.
I'm pulling for Mattingly too. I don't see him getting worse. At least win the division and getting to the World Series is going to be difficult because the Dodgers are the Dodgers and they had the best players. So hopefully they're bored and they don't play well. And
they do have 3 pretty good starters.
They can keep you and they can keep you.
Wheeler can beat anybody any night.
Sure, he
Sanchez.
Can.
I mean, you throw 50 innings consecutive zeros.
That's ridiculous.
Come on now.
That's silly. Yeah. That's not. You can't even dream that up in the backyard.
So,
right.
I mean, they can stay with anybody because, now is their bullpen going to hold up? I don't know.
That's a good question, but I'm with you guys. I think the Phillies are going to, be the team that can. The last 60 games here, it'll be a fun race, but I think they catch the Braves and win that division. The Brewers, boy, they just, they've been 4 teams over 500 in that NL Central, but the Brewers are 7 games in front of the Cubs, and that's their only real threat, in my opinion. There, I mean, Pirates aren't going to win that division, and neither are the Cardinals, but. The Brewers, man, I just don't know. They just keep doing this year in and year out. Got to give them a lot of credit for the way that organization is run. Coach, we'll start with you. Are they going to hold off the Cubs?
I think so. I think the credit goes to Murph, though. I think his environment's really good. He makes it where they want to come to work every day. So, and you know what? I've met him before at a convention a long time ago, but he's got that infectious personality. He's got a little charisma in his players. They buy into that kind of stuff. and plus you got some. I mean, they can score runs.
Yeah, they can.
They can score runs, and and you got that cat throwing 103.
Yeah,
and he'll be well rested because they pitched him a little bit early. But I think I think he's the wild card. I think that's why they're going to win.
and before I go to you real quick, Coach, my son sent me the stat last week of Jacob Mizorowski's. He's thrown 35 of the top 40 fastest pitches in baseball this year. That used to be the closer, or a guy that would come in and just throw as hard as he can, and now we got a starting pitcher doing that. It's something you haven't really seen since like Nolan Ryan. That's really been the guy that's throwing the fastest and be a starting pitcher. So pretty impressive.
Happen. You're right. You let it happen.
Plus, we got a connection there a little bit with that kid. I mean, because his high school baseball coach played here.
Oh, that's great.
He's in Winfield. Dom.
Yeah.
You know Dom?
I know the name. I'm sure I probably have met him. I'm terrible on, but I know the name.
Yeah.
Dom Giangrosso. Okay, terrific.
Yeah, so good guy, man. Just
he was a wrestler, played over his talent.
Yeah.
Did a lot of positive things.
Yeah, had a smile on his face most of the time too. So
Came to work every day. He was good.
Excellent. Well, are you with your brother on the Brewers, or do you think the Cubs can make a run at
I
it?
don't think the Cubs can beat them. I don't think they're good enough. I would like to see the Cubs beat them, to be honest with you, but I don't see that. I don't see it happening. I think the Brewers, somehow their unit is bigger than the whole. For somehow
It just is, isn't it?
Just keeps. And I'm not much of a Brewers fan.
Yeah, right.
But I mean, you like to see Mizorowski throw well because he's a JUCO guy, and you just hope he can withstand the pressure.
they also got Ashby, another JUCO guy, right?
Yeah.
And Ashby's on that staff
He's
as
on
well.
that team. Yeah.
So
you gotta like that.
Boy,
Even if it's
the
not a
JUCO
team we're cheering
bandits
for, you
stick
like seeing
together.
those guys.
yeah, we stick
well.
together. We want to see each other's players do well.
Yeah.
For sure. And then let's see. Okay, we got Braves, Brewers, Dodgers. I think we've got everybody touched there. If you guys are looking at some wild cards that could make some hay, if we're thinking, maybe in the American League, Boston, maybe it'd be either Seattle or Texas, and then you got maybe a Cleveland or a White Sox team. Is there anybody there that can really make much noise out of the American League in the postseason?
It'd have to be out of the East.
Yeah,
For me, it has to be out of the East. Maybe one of the teams that make the wild card team. They're proven that they can withstand.
Tampa or New York, one of those, or
have a chip on Boston might have a chip on their shoulder, or something like that because they didn't win the division. But it's going to come down to not going to matter. The Dodgers are going to win it all anyway.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Who's the afterthoughts? And I don't know who wants to get into the wild card on the other side of the National League right now, because the Marlins have lost 8 out of 9 and have fallen back into a tie with the Pirates and the Cardinals for the last wild card spot. The Cardinals have scuffled here of recent, and so got 3 teams all there, and then right behind them is Arizona, a half game back, and San Diego just a game and a half back for those final wild card spots. So it'll be a interesting race in the National League. Not very many teams are eliminated in the National League for at least wild card contention, but like you just
Does that
said,
mean they're all good or they're all bad? What's that mean?
they're all about 500. So-
They're even. I don't know if they're good or bad, but
whatever
they're
you
all
want to
even.
say.
Yeah.
well, to tell you at the All-Star break, who would have thought this? The Nationals and the Pirates had the most runs scored in the National League at the All-Star break. Pirates are basically a 500 club, and the Nationals are a 500 club. It's just
The Nationals played pretty good.
they have. They
honestly,
played much better than I would have
yeah.
thought. So, but yeah, it'll be an exciting race there in the National League to see who gets into the wild card. But I think it's all just to say you made it into the playoffs, because as we all think, the Dodgers are, if they stay healthy, they're going to be.
They don't want to. Nobody wants to draw the Dodgers.
Oh goodness, yeah, I know I don't want to see that, but
And the Dodgers when the playoffs roll around, they take it to a different level too, because they're just playing to get along right now, and they're still up by double digits. So
yeah,
they're
Was
bored. and
Otani
still
not going
winning.
to throw anymore for a while? Maybe.
Well, yeah, probably till mid September, probably, so he can get himself back into shape or whatever. Because that's his rehabs in the big league, because you got to have it clinched by Labor Day if you're not careful.
yeah. How
You
about
don't need
that?
to go to Oklahoma City and pitch a rehab start.
Right. Yep. And gets to stay in the lineup and bat. Then, huh?
Well, you don't want to send him to Oklahoma City. You can lead him off.
Right. No joke. Guys, make a little switch here. And that's a blast. Thank you guys for letting me talk some baseball with you. But want to know your thoughts too, both of you being big OU football fans. Yesterday was SEC Media Day. The Sooners, there's a lot of hype. I'm reading a lot of good things coming out of there. Mateer's healthy, got a hand injury. Seems like it's a thing of the past. Just shows how tough the SEC is. I really feel like OU's got a chance to have a really good season, a really nice season. And they're picked sixth. It just tells you how tough the SEC is. If you'd have told me that OU's picked sixth in the Big 12 a few years ago or something, I would laugh. Sixth in the SEC, you're like, that's pretty good still,
Playoff team, maybe.
It is, right. I mean, the 5 teams ahead of them, I had a hard time really justifying if OU was better than. Texas picked first in the SEC. OU picked just ahead of Alabama. When you got Alabama 7th, that tells you how tough the league is, doesn't it? But
well, it's kind of like you got dice in a Yahtzee cup and you're just shaking them up and throwing them on the ground and see which one's going to come out. I mean, there's so many good teams. I don't know how you can pick who's winning.
What was amazing to me yesterday, I was watching, they said that 16 toughest schedules are the 16 teams that play in the SEC.
I don't doubt it. I mean,
how about that?
You play each other each week?
Every Saturday. Oh. Every Saturday. Most of the time, Ohio State or Indiana or Michigan and playing in the Big Ten, not every week, but you're probably going to win the game going into the game. You have no idea if you're going to win the game in the SEC.
Right.
If you don't play well, one thing you're going to lose. And if the other team plays better, you're really going to lose.
Who's last?
And the SEC, Arkansas was dead last. Yeah, I think Kentucky was just above Arkansas. Mm-hmm. Looking at OU, the season they had last year, great season. A little disappointing the finish they had just because they had such a big early lead in that game against Bama before losing. But what's your guys' thoughts on OU this year? I mean, do you feel like this is a team that's built now and has material back for a run at getting right back in the playoffs again?
I think if he plays better, I know he was hurt, but that had his hand had nothing to do with some of the decisions he was making. Even in the Alabama game, he makes a bad decision and guy goes the other way for a touchdown, and he misses the guy by 30, but not 30 feet, but he missed him by 7 or 8 feet, which is a big miss in college football. Mm-hmm. Their defense is definitely good enough. You got to think that the running backs will be better. They say they've improved their wide receiver room, their tight end room, so that'll help mature a little bit too. But you got to give him the benefit of the doubt because the transition from Washington State to the SEC is probably so large that we can't even comprehend it. Mm-hmm. So if he plays good, but their schedule, man. They got A&M at home. They got to go to Georgia and then they got Texas. They got to go to Michigan. You got Missouri to finish it off at Missouri. Mm-hmm. That's always been a problem. So you can have a great year and go 8-4.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And that's not going to be good enough,
With that schedule, like you said, 16. I love that stat. Thank you. The 16 toughest schedule.
Just line them up. There's no buys. They don't play that BYE school. They every game's a battle. It's going to be a knockdown, drag out.
Coach, your thoughts on the Sooners this year?
Well, I think idealistically, I'd love for them to succeed at a high level. There's such a challenge every week, and am I going to watch them in full form? Absolutely, but there's so many unknowns still. You don't know who's going to get hurt. You don't know who's going to back up Mateer if he gets hurt.
That's right.
How's that guy going to be? And they still got to figure out a way to throw the ball over the middle some. And hopefully Witten will help that with the tight end room.
Yeah, definitely. Jason Witten is a tight ends coach.
Yeah,
the coach is good.
It depends
on how the tight end is.
Yeah, like I said, but maybe he can give some kind of advice that they haven't heard.
That's right. Mm-hmm. No, good guy to have in the building to learn from. That's for sure. A Hall of Fame tight end. Guys, just because I know we've got a lot of K-State people around this area too. Picked 7th in the Big 12. Texas Tech was picked to win the Big 12, but K-State, a lot of excitement around that club just because there's a coaching change. Colin Klein coming in, Avery Johnson. There's been so much hype since he came in, and he's played well at times, but never really seemed like he's put it together entirely. At least for me, I'm still waiting for him to kind of have that breakout and keep it going for us.
Hasn't been consistent at all,
right? And that's maybe with the coaching of someone like a Colin Klein who has a very similar type of game that Avery Johnson has. Maybe this is the year he really excels. And what are your guys' thoughts on K-State? Because that's a team that every year when the Sooners were in the Big 12, it didn't matter. You could throw the records out. It was going to be a tough game.
Texas, there's going to be Texas and Oklahoma playing for the championship, most of the time.
Right.
But, I think Colin Klein's the right guy. He's a K-State guy. Coach Snyder's going to endorse him. He wants him there because he played for him. I think that's big. We'll see how he influences Avery Johnson. We'll just have to see how that's going to work. But Me personally, I think 7th is probably fair.
Yeah, probably
because
so. First year.
they're an unknown,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and they have the capabilities of being in the top 4. Or they might have the capabilities of being in the bottom 4. Who knows?
Yeah.
You know. So, but the one thing I do know, I'm ready for college football season to get here.
Me too. I know.
That's why fall baseball is always so good. You got fall baseball and you got college football and the playoffs in baseball. Don't get any better than that in the fall.
I know it's a good time of year. I know. You agree, Coach, kind of about the assessment there on
Yeah, I
K-State?
mean, I think Avery Johnson, a talented lad, I do, but he has to play better,
For sure.
you know, and hopefully Colin Klein can help. Obviously, with his mentality, if he can put a little bit of the mental part into Avery Johnson, obviously that's going to help.
Mm-hmm.
But I think probably that's middle of the pack.
And they never had it together at all last year. There was something missing, and had to be in that locker room too, because your running back doesn't hardly play. I guess he fills one punt and he's hurt.
Yeah, right.
They just never. They just have any continuity whatsoever, in my opinion. Just watch them, because I want them to win too. I mean, I don't want them to beat Oklahoma, but I do want them to win.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, but we'll see how we're going to see how he brings that club together.
Sure.
And maybe that's how it is. Maybe that's college football now with the portal. Maybe it's more like professional football. So chemistry, I don't know. That might be a lost art. I don't know.
That's a good point.
I don't know
how tough it is to have chemistry now whenever it's not the same group of guys.
Well, you got 60 free agents in there. What's the culture?
Right.
Where is the culture at?
Receiver for Oklahoma. I always have a tough time pronouncing his last name. Leading returner receiver. Stagnetta. How do you say his? Oh gosh.
Yeah, I know.
Saratiga.
Yes, I know. And like I say, I always have a tough time pronouncing his name, but I just read the other day that, he came back. He had opportunities in the transfer portal for maybe something else, but he had such a good rapport with Mateer that he decided to come back. And I'm sure he got a lot of money in the NIL too, but he's excited about actually being with the same quarterback for another year. And I think that's huge, just to have that continuity together.
I agree. I think he went in and probably renegotiated the NIL deal, and he probably got a little bump in pay to come back. So
I think Mateer does a lot of good things for the program outside of playing football.
Yeah, I've heard that
he
too.
was at the World Series and on TV, and I mean, I think he does a lot of things. I think he knows how to be a leader.
Great.
Now he has to play like a leader.
That's right. Yeah. Hopefully so.
What was really cool at the World Series, Mateer was there with Arbuckle, who is offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
And it was kind of cool to see Mike. Is it Mike? I'm not even sure.
Ben, isn't it? Yeah.
Ben. It was kind of cool to see the offensive coordinator acting like a kid right beside your quarterback. That was kind of fun to watch.
Awesome. Yeah, well, like I said, that whole coaching staff was there supporting them. The baseball team was the men and women's basketball, and
love that.
Barry Switzer.
Yeah,
Boz. I mean, there was a lot of who's who there.
There's some heat running in there, baby.
Yeah.
Toby Keith's wife.
Yeah. I mean, it was a cool atmosphere for the whole university. They got a lot of free marketing that was pretty cool.
Tremendous. You got it. Well, we don't want to leave out KU. They're picked 12th in the Big 12, but some good news for KU fans.
Somebody left them out.
That's true. The voters did. But
I'm glad he's still coaching, not me. I don't want to take any heat for that statement.
Yeah.
I didn't leave him out. Somebody else did.
Some good news for KU fans, though, is their $448 million stadium renovation. It's coming along well. So they're going to have an entirely new redesigned west side of the stadium. One of the project's signature additions, though, is they're still going to be under some construction until 27 or 28, but it's going to be a beautiful facility once it's said and done. And so that's some good news for KU fans. And one other thing is a former KU legend, John Riggins, going to be able to have his jersey retired by the Washington Commanders. Riggo is how I used to remember him as back when he used to play. Boy, what a hard nose. I was just a kid. I just remember him with then was the Redskins and now the Commanders in those early 80s, like 82 in the Super Bowl. And just, boy, he was good, man. He was one of those tough-nosed runners.
Tough personified, was he not?
Man, sure was. Fun to watch. Just a guy that was gritty, or like you say, a dirtbag. He was really good.
It was like tackling a semi-truck, what it was like. Most of the time he was going to keep moving. Left and I went over to South Haven one year and watched Todd Raceboy play. They were in a playoff football game, and Centralia was their opponent.
From where Riggins is from, Centralia, Kansas.
Yeah,
right?
So I was sitting there visiting with this guy, and we were just talking football, plain and simple. Like, hey, you remember Riggins? Because he was an older gentleman. Like, you remember Riggins playing? Well, yeah. And they had a big running back. I said, well, how's this kid compare? He looked at me like I just had two heads. Like, come on, man.
Question is
Are
that?
you serious?
Right, that only comes around once in a lifetime.
What hospital did you get out of?
Really, guys, unreal. We're already approaching an hour, so I mean, we could do this all day long. I mean, I had to cut short our baseball talk just so we could get a couple other things in, but
Well, you got to get your joke in for sure.
yeah, for sure, guys. We can't miss that. So, a few little things too going on at Cowley. We got a volleyball camps will be here July 27th through the 31st. Annual Blitz Drive Athletic Department fundraiser be on next Tuesday, July 28th. So, a lot of our coaches and staff will be out and around in the community for that Blitz Drive. And then we've got the Tiger Skins Brian Groves Memorial Golf Tournament on Saturday, August 1st. Still spots available, so if you want to get your team together, go to cowleytigers.com, reserve a spot. And then on August 26th, the Tiger Tailgate outside W.S. Scott Auditorium. And Coach Burroughs and I, we do some work with our Sports 620 Sports Show with KSOK Radio, and they're going to be nice enough to come out that day and do a remote, so it'll be a lot of fun and great opportunity for people in the community to come on out. It's free. There'll be free food, free drinks, and you'll get a chance to meet the coaches, the players, and hear each one of the coaches maybe give a little talk about how their programs are. So,
New
fun event.
scoreboard.
Yeah, the new scoreboard. Thanks for bringing that up, Coach. Have you got a chance to see it?
I have.
Pretty sweet,
Pretty
isn't
impressive.
it? Yeah, I know. So I'll tell you what, if you haven't, I mean, come on by. Come on inside W.S. Scott Auditorium. My office is just as soon as you enter. Be happy to take you in there to the gym and show you a little bit about the new scoreboard, thanks to the Istis family, Brooke and Rob Istis. And it's going to be great during the volleyball and basketball season.
And I told Jeff, I said, really, if you'd have got this done a little quicker, Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift wouldn't have had to run off the Madison Square Garden and got married. They got married right across the street. Think of the publicity for that. We could have marketed that our own self, couldn't we, Rama?
I think even someone as dumb as us, we could have probably come up with some kind of marketing for that. So.
Absolutely.
Sorry we didn't have that done in time, Travis, but
I hope it don't affect the way he plays this year. Hope he's not so disappointed he can't play.
What do you guys think on Travis Kelce real quick? I mean, this is probably the final year for him. Do you think he's got enough left in the tank to have a nice final season and lead the Chiefs into a long run in the playoffs?
Ooh, yeah.
We can leave at that last part. Do you think he's going to be the Travis Kelce that Chiefs fans expect and that we want?
I don't know about that
accustomed
one.
to see.
I don't know about that one, man.
Okay.
Father Time's it's undefeated. So now, can he still be a productive football player and still catch passes and make big plays? Sure, but being an 80 snap guy, I don't know if that's the case.
Yeah, your thoughts, Coach?
Yeah, I mean, I thought he's wavered the last couple of years pretty hard. And, when you lose a step, and I think even Patrick Mahomes has lost a step. So how much more room can he give somebody to get open?
Yeah,
you know. And so sometimes that guy his knowledge can only get him so open.
That's true. Travis Kelce has been a guy to me that blows me away because he doesn't seem that fast. But yet he
gets open.
He just gets open. I mean, he's an incredible route runner.
Yeah.
And he's also uses his size to his advantage. Might get a little bit of some separation there, with but I mean, he has just been great at his craft at being able to find a way to get open and make himself a factor in games. I worry if now, married, chasing his wife all around, all the places she goes, if maybe the same work's not put in. I don't know. But knowing Travis,
it might be more now since he's married.
You might be right. Instead of being out running around late at night and stuff, he's at home with his wife, and I think he's going to have a good final season. Just because I just think that's he's a competitor, and he's going to go out and give everything he has.
And he knows this is it, so he's going to be better prepared than he's ever been mentally, I think.
For sure. Yep. Well, guys, it's time for the joke of the day. All right,
we go.
Let's do it.
Okay, here we go. I hate to even talk about my personal life, but my wife and I were having an argument the other day about whose turn it was to do the laundry. In the end, I threw in the towel.
You're a smart man, Rama.
Thank you. Okay. Hey, that's the best response I think I got off a joke. Was it? Oh, okay.
Okay. That's why you haven't had a black eye in months, because I knew what happened the last time you didn't throw in the towel. You came to work with a black eye.
I'll do the laundry. All right. Fine. Dishes, whatever needs to be done. I know my role at the house.
Absolutely.
Yes, ma'am. Shoot. Hey, guys, thanks as always to Cowley College creative media producer and the man behind this podcast, Kris Ripley. Kris, thanks so much for all you do. So we've had him on this podcast before, had a lot of fun talking with Kris, and I'm sure we'll do that again. And it was a lot of fun to have Darren Burroughs back on again today.
Thanks,
so, Coach,
Rama.
thank you very much.
Yeah.
And Coach Dave, always fun. Great to have both the Burroughs brothers here. We'll have to do this again sometime.
Absolutely.
All right.
I'm in.
Well, guys, thanks so much, and we appreciate y'all tuning in to episode 26 Behind the Stripes podcast. Until next time, we'll see you.